If your hair is thinning, falling out, or losing its shine, the problem may not be your shampoo. It's what's missing inside your body. Hair loss is often a nutrient deficiency problem, not a genetics problem. When you feed the scalp the right nutrients, hair follicles can come back to life. Let me show you 4 powerful foods that directly support hair growth, thickness, and strength, and most people are not eating them consistently. Eggs are one of the most complete foods when it comes to restoring hair health because they deliver multiple critical nutrients at the exact moment hair follicles need them the most. Hair is made primarily of a protein called keratin, and if your diet is low in usable protein, the body will always prioritize survival organs over hair. That's why one of the earliest signs of protein deficiency is hair thinning and excessive shedding. Eggs provide a highly bioavailable, complete protein containing all essential amino acids, which gives the body the raw building blocks required to produce strong, thick hair strands instead of weak, fragile ones. One of the most important nutrients in eggs for hair is biotin. Biotin plays a direct role in keratin infrastructure, and even a mild deficiency can lead to brittle hair, slow growth, and increased hair fall. What makes eggs unique is that the biotin comes packaged with other supportive nutrients that help the body actually use it. Many people take biotin supplements but still see little improvement because the body lacks sulfur, zinc, or protein to activate the process. Eggs solve this problem naturally by providing these nutrients together in their proper ratios. Sulfur is another key factor found abundantly in eggs, especially in the yolk. Sulfur is essential for forming strong disulfide bonds in hair strands, which give hair its strength, elasticity, and resistance to breakage. Without enough sulfur, hair may grow, but it grows thin, dull, and prone to snapping. Sulfur also supports detoxification pathways in the liver, which indirectly affects hair growth by reducing oxidative stress that can damage hair follicles over time. Egg yolks are also rich in fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, and E, which are essential for scalp health. Vitamin A helps regulate sebum production, keeping the scalp moisturized without becoming oily. Vitamin D plays a role in activating dormant hair follicles and supporting the hair growth cycle. Low vitamin D levels are commonly linked to hair thinning and conditions like alopecia. Vitamin E acts as a powerful antioxidant, protecting hair follicles from free radical damage that can prematurely push hair into the shedding phase. Another often overlooked benefit of eggs is choline. Choline supports cell membrane integrity and improves nutrient delivery to rapidly dividing cells, including hair follicle cells. Healthy cell membranes mean better communication between cells, improved nutrient absorption, and stronger hair growth signals. Choline also supports liver health, and a sluggish liver can contribute to hormonal imbalances that negatively affect hair. There's also a hormonal angle that makes eggs especially powerful. Eggs provide cholesterol, which is not the enemy it has been made out to be. Cholesterol is the building block for hormones, including those involved in hair growth and repair. Extremely low fat diets can disrupt hormone production, leading to hair loss even when calories are sufficient. Eggs help restore hormonal balance naturally, supporting healthier hair cycles without extreme dietary changes. It's important to mention that how eggs are consumed matters. Lightly cooked eggs allow for better absorption of biotin while still making them safe to eat. Overcooking can damage some nutrients, while raw egg whites contain avidin, a protein that binds biotin and prevents absorption. This balance is key to getting the maximum hair benefits without creating new deficiencies. When eggs are consumed consistently as part of a nutrient-dense diet, they don't just improve hair appearance on the surface. They strengthen the follicle at the root, support the growth phase of the hair cycle, and reduce excessive shedding caused by nutritional stress. This is why eggs are not a cosmetic solution, but a biological one. They supply the scalp with what it needs to rebuild, repair, and maintain strong, resilient hair from the inside out. Pumpkin seeds are one of the most underestimated foods for restoring hair density because they work at a hormonal, nutritional, and cellular level at the same time. Hair thinning is often driven by an imbalance between hair growth signals and hair loss signals, and one of the strongest loss signals in the body is excess dihydrotestosterone, commonly known as DHT. Pumpkin seeds contain natural plant compounds called phytosterols that help limit the conversion of testosterone into DHT. When DHT levels are reduced at the scalp, hair follicles are less likely to shrink, allowing them to remain in the active growth phase longer instead of gradually producing thinner and weaker strands. Zinc is another critical element found in pumpkin seeds, and its role in hair health cannot be overstated. Zinc supports the enzymes involved in DNA and protein synthesis, both of which are essential for rapidly dividing hair follicle cells. When zinc levels drop, hair growth slows down, shedding increases, and the scalp can become irritated or flaky. Many people experience hair loss without realizing that even a mild zinc deficiency can disrupt the hair cycle. Pumpkin seeds provide a steady, food-based source of zinc that the body recognizes and absorbs efficiently, unlike isolated supplements that may not be utilized properly. The oil glands around hair follicles rely heavily on zinc to function correctly. These glands produce sebum, which lubricates the scalp and protects hair shafts from drying out and breaking. When zinc is insufficient, sebum production becomes irregular, leading to either an overly dry scalp or excessive oiliness. Both conditions can weaken follicles and increase hair shedding. Pumpkin seeds help normalize this process, creating a healthier scalp environment where hair can grow without constant irritation or inflammation. Pumpkin seeds are also rich in magnesium, a mineral that plays a major role in reducing stress-related hair loss. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which can push hair follicles prematurely into the resting phase. Magnesium helps calm the nervous system and supports proper muscle and blood vessel relaxation, improving blood flow to the scalp. Better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients reaching the follicles, which is essential for sustaining thick, healthy hair growth over time. Another powerful feature of pumpkin seeds is their antioxidant content. Oxidative stress damages hair follicles at a cellular level, accelerating aging of the scalp and weakening hair structure. Pumpkin seeds contain antioxidants that help neutralize free radicals, protecting follicles from environmental and metabolic stress. This protective effect becomes especially important as the body ages, when natural antioxidant defenses begin to decline and hair becomes more vulnerable to thinning. Pumpkin seed oil has also been studied for its role in supporting hair density, particularly in individuals experiencing pattern-related hair loss. The fatty acids in pumpkin seeds nourish the scalp, reduce inflammation, and help maintain the integrity of the follicle structure. Inflammation around hair follicles can restrict nutrient delivery and disrupt growth signals, making hair more likely to fall out before reaching its full length. The healthy fats in pumpkin seeds counteract this process by creating a more supportive environment for sustained growth. What makes pumpkin seeds especially effective is their simplicity. They do not stimulate hair growth through artificial or aggressive mechanisms. Instead, they remove obstacles that silently block hair regeneration. By lowering excessive DHT activity, replenishing zinc, calming inflammation, and supporting circulation, pumpkin seeds allow the body's natural hair growth systems to function as intended. When consumed regularly, pumpkin seeds act as a long-term strategy rather than a quick fix. They strengthen follicles, slow excessive shedding, and support thicker regrowth over time. This is why they are not just a snack, but a targeted nutritional tool that addresses one of the most common yet overlooked causes of hair thinning at its root. Spinach plays a powerful role in restoring hair vitality because it directly influences blood flow, oxygen delivery, and nutrient transport to the scalp. Hair follicles are among the most metabolically active structures in the body, and when circulation is compromised, hair growth is one of the first processes to slow down. Spinach is naturally rich in iron, a mineral required for the production of hemoglobin, the molecule that carries oxygen in the blood. Without adequate oxygen reaching the scalp, hair follicles struggle to maintain the energy needed for consistent growth, leading to thinning, weakness, and increased shedding. Iron deficiency does not always show up as severe anemia. Even marginally low iron levels can reduce oxygen supply enough to affect hair density. Spinach provides non-heme iron along with vitamin C, which significantly improves iron absorption in the digestive tract. This combination is critical because iron taken alone is often poorly absorbed. When iron availability improves, follicles receive more oxygen and nutrients, allowing them to remain in the growth phase longer and produce stronger hair fibers. Spinach is also a valuable source of folate, a B vitamin essential for cell division and tissue growth. Hair follicle cells divide rapidly, and without sufficient folate, this process becomes inefficient. Slow cell turnover weakens hair strands and limits regrowth. Folate supports DNA synthesis and repair, ensuring that new hair cells form correctly instead of producing fragile, poorly structured hair. Magnesium is another key mineral found in spinach that influences hair health in a less obvious but equally important way. Magnesium helps regulate calcium balance in soft tissues. When calcium accumulates in the scalp, it can harden tissue and restrict blood flow around hair follicles. This subtle calcification process reduces nutrient delivery and interferes with normal hair cycling. Magnesium helps prevent this buildup, keeping scalp tissue flexible and well nourished. Spinach also contains potassium, which supports proper hydration and electrolyte balance at the cellular level. Dehydrated scalp tissue can lead to dryness, irritation, and impaired follicle function. Potassium helps maintain fluid balance inside cells, supporting a healthier scalp environment where hair can grow without constant stress. One of the most overlooked benefits of spinach is its vitamin A content. Vitamin A plays a crucial role in regulating sebum production. Sebum is the natural oil that moisturizes the scalp and protects hair shafts from breakage. Too little sebum leads to dryness and brittle hair, while too much can clog follicles and contribute to hair shedding. Spinach helps maintain this balance, supporting a scalp that is neither too dry nor excessively oily. Spinach also provides powerful antioxidants, including lutein and beta-carotene, which protect hair follicles from oxidative damage. Oxidative stress accelerates follicle aging and disrupts the hair growth cycle. Environmental toxins, poor diet, and chronic inflammation all contribute to this damage. Antioxidants in spinach neutralize free radicals, preserving follicle integrity and supporting long-term hair resilience. Another critical factor is nitric oxide production. Spinach contains natural nitrates that the body converts into nitric oxide, a compound that helps widen blood vessels and improve circulation. Increased blood flow to the scalp means more nutrients, more oxygen, and stronger growth signals reaching the follicles. This vascular support is essential for individuals experiencing thinning hair due to poor circulation or metabolic stress. Spinach also supports overall metabolic health, which indirectly affects hair growth. Stable blood sugar levels reduce inflammation and hormonal disruptions that can interfere with the hair cycle. Nutrients in spinach help regulate insulin sensitivity, reducing the metabolic stress that often contributes to diffuse hair thinning. When spinach is consumed consistently, it does not stimulate hair growth through artificial means. Instead, it restores the physiological conditions required for hair follicles to function optimally: improved circulation, better oxygen delivery, Balanced sebum production and reduced oxidative stress work together to support stronger, thicker hair over time. This is why spinach is not just a leafy green, but a strategic food for maintaining scalp health and sustaining healthy hair growth from the inside out. Fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, mackerel, and anchovies play a critical role in restoring hair strength because they work at the level of inflammation control, follicle activation, and cellular communication. Hair follicles are extremely sensitive to inflammatory signals, and when inflammation becomes chronic, follicles can shrink, weaken, and eventually shut down. One of the primary drivers of this inflammation is an imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. Modern diets are overloaded with omega-6 fats, which promote inflammation, while omega-3 intake is often dangerously low. Fatty fish provide highly bioavailable omega-3 fatty acids that help reverse this imbalance and create a biological environment where hair can thrive. Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA, are essential components of cell membranes. Hair follicle cells rely on flexible, healthy membranes to receive growth signals and transport nutrients efficiently. When cell membranes become rigid due to poor fat quality, communication between cells breaks down and hair growth slows. Omega-3s restore membrane fluidity, allowing follicles to respond properly to growth cues and maintain a longer growth phase. This is one reason hair can begin to feel stronger and appear thicker when omega-3 intake is corrected. Another powerful effect of omega-3s is their ability to reduce scalp inflammation at its source. Inflammatory compounds can constrict blood vessels around hair follicles, limiting oxygen and nutrient delivery. Fatty fish help produce anti-inflammatory molecules that calm this response, improving circulation to the scalp. Increased blood flow means follicles receive more amino acids, minerals, and oxygen, all of which are necessary for producing strong hair fibers rather than thin, fragile strands. Fatty fish are also one of the richest natural sources of vitamin D, a nutrient that plays a direct role in hair follicle cycling. Vitamin D receptors are present in hair follicles, and when vitamin D levels are low, follicles can become dormant. Dormant follicles do not fall out immediately. Instead, they stop producing new hair, leading to gradual thinning over time. Restoring vitamin D through food sources like fatty fish helps reactivate these follicles and supports the transition back into the growth phase. Protein quality also matters, and fatty fish provide highly digestible protein along with essential amino acids needed for keratin production. Unlike some protein sources that are harder to digest, fish protein is efficiently absorbed and utilized by the body. This ensures that hair follicles receive the raw materials they need without placing excessive stress on digestion, which can otherwise divert nutrients away from hair growth. Selenium is another critical nutrient found in fatty fish that often goes unnoticed. Selenium supports thyroid hormone metabolism, and thyroid hormones have a major influence on hair growth, speed, and thickness. Even subtle thyroid imbalances can lead to hair thinning, dryness, and excessive shedding. Adequate selenium intake helps maintain proper thyroid function, indirectly supporting healthy hair growth cycles and preventing metabolic slowdowns that affect the scalp. Fatty fish also contribute to improved scalp hydration. Omega-3 fatty acids help regulate oil production and maintain moisture balance in the skin. A dry, irritated scalp creates a hostile environment for hair follicles, increasing breakage and shedding. At the same time, excessive oiliness can clog follicles and disrupt growth. Omega-3s help normalize this balance, supporting a scalp that is nourished, calm, and resilient. There is also a neurological connection that makes fatty fish particularly valuable. DHA is a major structural component of the brain and nervous system, and the nervous system plays a key role in regulating blood flow, hormone signaling, and stress responses. Chronic stress can shift hair follicles into the resting phase prematurely. By supporting nervous system health, omega-3s help blunt stress signals that negatively affect hair growth, allowing follicles to remain active for longer periods. The anti-aging effects of fatty fish extend to the scalp as well. Oxidative stress accelerates follicle aging, reducing the number of viable growth cycles each follicle can produce. Omega-3s, along with antioxidants naturally present in fish, help reduce oxidative damage at the cellular level. This protective effect preserves follicle function and supports long-term hair density rather than short-term cosmetic improvement. What makes fatty fish especially effective is that they do not force hair growth through stimulation. Instead, they remove the silent barriers that prevent hair from growing in the first place. Reduced inflammation, improved circulation, balanced hormones, and restored nutrient delivery all work together to support natural regrowth. This is why improvements in hair texture, strength, and shedding patterns often appear gradually but consistently when fatty fish become a regular part of the diet. When consumed consistently, fatty fish nourish the scalp from the inside, strengthen follicles at their foundation, and support the biological systems that control hair growth. Rather than acting on the surface, they rebuild the internal conditions required for hair to grow thicker, stronger, and more resilient over time. Hair recovery is not a random event, and it is not something that happens overnight. Hair responds to signals coming from deep inside the body, and when those signals change, the hair follows. One of the most overlooked realities is that hair loss is often the body's way of conserving resources during stress, inflammation, or deficiency. Hair is not essential for survival, so when nutrients are limited or hormones are disrupted, the body redirects energy away from hair follicles. The moment those internal conditions improve, hair follicles receive the message that it is safe to grow again. One of the strongest signals influencing hair growth is nutrient sufficiency. Hair follicles require a constant supply of amino acids, minerals, healthy fats, and vitamins to remain in the growth phase. When even one critical nutrient is missing, the growth cycle shortens. This is why hair can appear to thin even when calories are adequate. The body may be well fed, but the cells that grow hair may still be undernourished. Restoring hair is less about adding more products and more about removing deficiencies that quietly shut down growth. Inflammation is another silent factor that keeps hair follicles stuck in a weakened state. Chronic low-grade inflammation tightens blood vessels, disrupts hormone signaling, and interferes with nutrient delivery to the scalp. When inflammation is present, follicles receive mixed signals: grow, then stop, then shed. This leads to excessive hair fall and poor regrowth. When inflammation is reduced through proper nutrition and metabolic support, circulation improves and hair follicles can stabilize, allowing thicker strands to form consistently. Hormonal balance plays a major role in this process. Hair follicles are extremely sensitive to changes in insulin, cortisol, thyroid hormones, and androgens. Elevated stress hormones can push hair into the resting phase prematurely. Blood sugar instability can increase inflammatory compounds that damage follicle health. Thyroid imbalances can slow down cellular turnover, leading to dull, weak hair. When these systems are supported nutritionally, hair follicles regain their normal rhythm instead of being forced into repeated shutdown cycles. There is also a timing component that many people misunderstand. Hair growth operates on a delayed response system. What you eat today affects the hair you see weeks or even months later. This delay often causes frustration because changes are happening beneath the surface long before they become visible. Follicles must first repair, then re-enter the growth phase, and only after that does new hair emerge. Consistency is what allows this process to unfold fully instead of being interrupted before results appear. Scalp health is another critical piece of the puzzle. A compromised scalp environment makes it difficult for hair to anchor properly. Poor circulation, dryness, excess oil, or irritation weaken the follicle's grip on the hair shaft. When the scalp is nourished internally, it becomes more elastic, better hydrated, and less inflamed. This creates a stable foundation where hair can grow thicker and remain attached longer instead of shedding prematurely. Another factor often ignored is mitochondrial health. Hair follicle cells require a tremendous amount of energy, and that energy is produced by mitochondria. When mitochondrial function is impaired due to nutrient deficiencies, oxidative stress, or metabolic dysfunction, hair growth slows dramatically. Supporting cellular energy production allows follicles to sustain the high demands of continuous hair growth rather than cycling off to conserve energy. The nervous system also influences hair in ways that are rarely discussed. Chronic stress keeps the body in a survival state where regeneration is deprioritized. Blood flow is redirected away from the scalp, digestion becomes inefficient, and nutrient absorption declines. When the nervous system is supported and stress signals are reduced, the body shifts back into repair mode. In this state, hair follicles receive consistent growth signals instead of stress-induced shutdown commands. What makes hair recovery possible is the body's remarkable ability to adapt and repair when conditions are right. Hair follicles are not easily destroyed. They are more often suppressed. When suppression is removed, follicles can resume activity even after long periods of dormancy. This is why addressing root causes produces better results than targeting hair loss as an isolated problem. It is also important to understand that hair restoration is not about pushing the body harder. Aggressive stimulation without correcting internal imbalances can actually worsen shedding. Hair thrives in a stable, nourished, low inflammation environment. When the body feels supported rather than stressed, growth becomes a natural outcome rather than something that must be forced. The most powerful changes often come from simple, repeatable actions done consistently. When nutrient-dense foods are eaten regularly, inflammation is lowered, hormones stabilize, and circulation improves, hair responds predictably. Texture improves, shedding slows, and new growth becomes noticeable over time. These changes may appear subtle at first, but they compound steadily. Hair reflects long-term internal health. When the body receives clear signals of abundance, safety, and balance, hair follicles respond by strengthening, thickening, and staying in the growth phase longer. This is why restoring hair is not about chasing symptoms. It is about rebuilding the internal environment that allows hair to grow the way it was designed to grow. Hair health is a reflection of internal balance, not an isolated cosmetic issue. Every strand growing from the scalp carries information about nutrition status, hormonal stability, inflammation levels, and metabolic efficiency. When the body is under stress or deprived of key nutrients, hair growth is quietly downgraded. This does not happen suddenly, and it does not happen without warning. The scalp responds gradually, signaling that something deeper needs attention long before visible thinning becomes severe. One of the most important realizations is that hair follicles are responsive and adaptable. They are not easily destroyed, but they are easily suppressed. When the body senses deficiency, inflammation, or instability, follicles reduce activity to conserve energy. Once those internal signals change, follicles are capable of reactivating. This is why addressing internal health creates a different outcome than relying on surface-level solutions that never reach the root. Consistency plays a decisive role. Hair growth follows biological timelines, not emotional expectations. Nutrients must be absorbed, cells must repair, follicles must enter the growth phase, and only then does visible change appear. Interrupting this process by switching strategies to often prevents the body from completing the cycle. Steady nourishment allows hair to respond predictably instead of remaining stuck in a pattern of shedding and stalled regrowth. Inflammation control is another silent driver of success. Chronic inflammation narrows blood vessels, disrupts hormone signaling, and interferes with oxygen delivery to the scalp. When inflammation is reduced, circulation improves naturally. Improved circulation brings oxygen, amino acids, and minerals directly to the follicles, strengthening them at their foundation. This shift alone can change the entire direction of hair health over time. Hormonal stability cannot be overlooked. Hair follicles are extremely sensitive to stress hormones, blood sugar fluctuations, and thyroid activity. When these systems are out of balance, hair growth becomes inconsistent. Supporting these pathways through proper nutrition and lifestyle choices sends a clear signal that growth and repair are once again a priority. Hair responds not to force, but to balance. There is also a powerful connection between digestion and hair. Poor absorption means nutrients never reach the scalp, no matter how healthy the diet appears on paper. Supporting digestion allows nutrients to be properly utilized, turning food into a biological message that signals repair rather than deficiency. When absorption improves, hair follicles receive what they need without competition from survival systems. Stress management influences hair more than most people realize. Prolonged stress keeps the body in a defensive state, diverting resources away from regeneration. When stress signals decrease, the body transitions back into repair mode. In this state, hair follicles are allowed to function normally instead of being repeatedly shut down. The most reliable improvements occur when the body feels supported rather than pressured. Hair does not respond well to aggressive tactics. It responds to stability, nourishment, and consistency. Over time, shedding slows, texture improves, and growth becomes more resilient. These changes are not dramatic overnight shifts, but steady biological corrections that compound with time. Healthy hair is the byproduct of internal harmony. When the body is nourished, inflammation is controlled, hormones are balanced, and stress is reduced, hair growth becomes a natural outcome rather than a struggle. This approach does not chase symptoms. It restores the conditions that allow hair to grow stronger, thicker, and more resilient in a way that lasts.